This is Shelby with Live in the Elevator today. I'm here with Nancy Wiskel of Dan Joyce Clothing. That was an amazing chamber, Am. I have to tell you,
so much.
if you weren't able to make it today, we are posting the video, so please watch it. I've never encountered or heard from a business owner that has been faced with so many challenges, but turn them into great opportunities. So if you do have the time, please watch it. It is truly inspiring. So let's get to it.
Okay,
this is our Live in the Elevator. My very first question is, Dan Joyce has such a history in our community as like one of those iconic retailers. What made you, after like their 40-year history, what made you want to take that on as your newest project?
Well, for me, something like working with a store that's iconic, to me, it's a really great challenge, because how do you take something with such a storied history, and as you say, it's an iconic store, and yet change it enough that it makes it mine, and that I can continue to build on the history and their reputation while really respecting what the history was. So as a business owner, that challenge is just fantastic.
That's fantastic. I also always wanted to ask, how do you decide, like you mentioned during your talk that you're 8 months after you purchase your next line for the season. How do you decide on what kind of area, what kind of pieces that you're going to be putting in the store for the next season? How do you decide, first of all, how so far in advance, or do you have like, the insider of like what fashion trends are going to be in next season?
Well, to a degree, we can see what the fashion trends are going to be, because when we buy, we can obviously see, all of the suppliers are showing particular color. So we know that the color is going to be a trend, or this particular style. But to make it fit into the store, I do a lot of reading, and I read all sorts of articles, not just fashion articles. I like to see kind of what's happening in a bigger picture across our economy. And I try to see certain trends that are happening. So for example, travel is going to be coming back big. Okay, so then maybe I want to focus on travel. So it's like just looking at a big overall view of what's happening in our country, and then trying to tie what I'm able to purchase into that.
Wow, there's so much like research and trying to plan ahead of, and you're in the COVID, like I can't imagine all the things that you've had to like, gee, what are we going to be in next year? You can come on in. Do you want to join us? We're just doing our Live in the Elevator right here.
And now we have a new guest.
And we have a new guest. Hi.
Hi.
JP, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. We're just doing some questions. Are you going up? Or are you? All right.
We're just going to hang out now for the rest
we're just going to go for a little ride. So you recently opened your second location in Apsley. And we just heard you opened it on the May 2-4 weekend before our big storm. So, if you haven't been hit with enough hardships with COVID, fate decided to throw another one at you.
Exactly.
What decided you to open in the Apsley region, and what decided on a second store?
Well, a second store for me really came about because as a business owner, I'm all about growth, and I wanted to see bigger growth. I wanted to have bigger growth than what I was experiencing at Peterborough, recovering from COVID. So I realized if I wanted to achieve big growth, I was going to have to open a second location. And that's forced me to look at surrounding areas close enough that I could drive to, because I knew I would be spending a lot of time shuttling back and forth, but also what new area for me did show, again, potential. And for me, that was cottage country, and that was in the North Kawarthas and in Apsley. I knew there was tremendous growth that they had experienced in terms of people buying cottages, but also people retiring. So as opposed to Dan Joyce's in Peterborough, which had this iconic storied history, this is now choosing a place that is just on the cusp of big things, which is exciting for different reasons.
Oh, fantastic. I wanted to point out that, so I've been following you on social media, and there's like this new mom in me kind of post, and I wanted to know what the story behind that was. Was that something that just kind of came out, or was that something that you planned to kind of, me and my mom shopping, which I think most ladies out there can relate to so often. Was that something that you planned to do as a marketing strategy?